Hello there. So today I've been stimulated into some interesting thought processes, and I want to share a little tiny bit with you. So I want to introduce you to one of the gems of Western occultism, and it's called Hylozoism. It's a pretty unusual word, isn't it? So I'm aware there's a little noise in the background going on. That's just how it is. So as I'm focusing in, declining to minuteness, going into the layers here just above the soil, this is the principal tenet of Hylozoism. Are you ready for it? Here we go. Everything from the tiniest atom to the greatest galaxy is alive. That's right, it's alive. It's all alive. And that's really easy to see in terms of nature, but what most people don't realise is that everything is made up of what people used to think of as a fundamental particle. It's not at all fundamental. Actually, everything's made of energy when you look at it a certain way. And perhaps the best example of all is I'm focusing on the sun is light. Physics regards light to be photons, and when you look at it one way they travel as particles, when you look at them another way they travel as waves. They do both at the same time, which is logically impossible. I love that about science. It's great when you get logically impossible things, which is nonetheless true. So here we are, so everything from the tiniest atom to the greatest galaxy is alive. It's full of sentience, that's the word that we actually use. So we can say that a plant is conscious, and we can say that an animal and a human being is conscious. But when it comes to the rocks and the stones, this is where we really don't know what's what anymore, and the general human idea. I mean, I'm just going to keep going down. I'm going to keep going down because in a moment I'm going to reach this. So here we have a conglomeration of concrete with iron bars running through it. Concrete and iron. The Rastafarians say this is the age of concrete and iron, and it's the most debased of all the ages. That's what they say in their spirituality. I'm not here to look at that though. The point is that I'm making, as I'm showing you this, is that from the perspective of Western occultism, everything is alive. Even the concrete and the iron, even the stones in the ground, even the plastics and metals and crystals which are used to make up this device. It's all alive. And so Western occultism does a good job by pointing this out to us, and this is becoming more and more recognised. Everything's alive. But when we have the shamanic perspective, it starts to become much more interesting still. So from the shamanic perspective, the device that I'm holding in my hands, it's a mixture of materials, metals, plastics, crystals, and other materials that I might not know the name of, other minerals. And when they've been put together in the factory and they actually create this ability to make this recording and communicate with you, here's the point. The point is this is to do with organisation, and there's something in quantum physics called Bose-Einstein condensates, which is a fascinating concept. Well worth googling Bose-Einstein condensates, because it's to do with the origin of what actually consciousness is. And the idea of consciousness, it relates to a sense of coherence, a sense of things coming together to make patterns, to make order. And so this then leads us to the fact that everything is connected. Everything is connected. Some people find that quite disturbing, but nonetheless, it's something well worth looking into. So from the shamanic perspective, Every plant has a spirit. Every animal has a spirit. And of course the microbes, the beloved microbes, they have spirits too. And the device in my hand actually has a spirit. The car that I get driven around in at the moment, that has a spirit too. When we go out into nature we find a glade, perhaps a circle of oak trees, maybe a spring or a stream. All these things have spirits too. So from the shamanic perspective, consciousness, the world, everything, full of spirits, which then relates to the modern and the ancient idea. So for example, the Shipibo shamans working with their plant medicines, everything's energy. Modern quantum physicists, everything is energy. I don't want to leave you back. Let's go back to Hylozoism. Everything, from the tiniest atom to the greatest galaxy, is alive. When we take on this perspective, we cannot go out and rape and destroy the earth. We cannot just dig things up and desecrate and damage. When we realize that everything's alive, the instant implication then comes about respect, appreciation, gratitude for life, for consciousness. It's alive. It's all alive. I'm so grateful. I invite you to join with me in gratitude for your life, for my life, for our lives, for the lives of all beings, from the tiniest microbe all the way up to the greatest galaxy and beyond. Thank you very much.